You've seen it. The strategic eye contact, the hand-holding, the surprise kisses. It's sweet. It's fun. And sometimes, it's just business. Take William and S. S posts these cute birthday pics, caked up and smiling. And surprise, William's right there with him. No company promo, no shoot schedule, just two actors staying in the conversation. These moments don't confuse most fans anymore, because by now, we know it's staged. The real question is, if we all know it's staged, why does fan service still work? And what is it doing to the actors, the fans, and the whole BL industry? Let's talk about what makes fan service in Thai BL different. First, what even is fan service? In short, it's when actors do things to please the fans. Sometimes that means teasing moments of affection. Sometimes it's full-on romantic behavior, in public, on screen, or on stage. And in BL fandom, it's taken to another level. Because in Thai BL, fan service isn't just a bonus, it's part of the system. One major part of that system? The koo-jin, also called official pairings. Agencies in Thailand will promote two actors as a romantic duo, both on and off screen. They sign contracts together, appear in interviews together, and often attend fan meetings or host YouTube shows as a pair. These aren't just co-stars, they're branded as a unit. Offgun, Yinwar, Earth Mix, Z Nu Nu, Joskawin, Dao Offroad, Boss Niul, Mile Apo, or First Kutung. All promoted as pairs through company-backed fan service. Agencies like GPkP, Demundi, and Me Mindy invest heavily in building these pairings. It's not just about acting. It's about creating a sellable image, one that fans can fall in love with. That image is pushed everywhere. YouTube content, sponsored live streams, joint interviews deals, brand campaigns, fan meetings, concerts and overseas tours, and even physical merch, like photo cards, couple-themed albums, calendars, or dolls. GPkP even runs events like Starlympics, where different ships compete in games, feeding fan fantasies and engagement even more. And that's the point, because this isn't just about chemistry, it's about cash flow. Fan service creates parasocial intimacy that drives spending. The illusion of closeness is the currency. Fans invest emotionally, and then financially. Merch, meet and greets, concert tickets, live stream access, brand deals, advertisements, sponsored content. The more fans are convinced the ship is real, the more they engage. So for many actors, especially newcomers, fan service becomes a career strategy. Keeping the ship alive means staying relevant, visible, and employed. Which is why finding the right partner matters, especially if they're in it for the long haul. A good pairing can build a career. A bad one can stall it. Not every actor's situation is the same, though. For some, fan service might be more about boosting an already established profile than about career survival. But for many others, it truly is a lifeline. And there's more at play than money. Thailand's cultural values also shape this system. For example, the concept of kreng jai, avoiding conflict or confrontation, may explain why some actors continue fan service even when it gets awkward or uncomfortable. Because saying no could mean backlash. Or worse, being forgotten. So yes, BL fan service can look cute and sweet on the surface. But underneath, it's carefully staged, monetized, and maintained. A fantasy, sold to fans. Fan service works because it sells a dream. But what happens when fans start expecting that dream to be real, 24/7? Some BL actors get caught in a loop. If they pull back, fans feel betrayed. If they lean in, they're stuck playing a version of themselves, even off screen. It's not just acting anymore. It's performance in real life. Take Mew Gulf, for example. After Tharn Type ended, the pressure to stay in character didn't stop. They were expected to hold hands, flirt in interviews, post birthday messages, and keep the illusion alive. For a while, they played along. But over time, the cracks showed. Vague tweets, awkward fan meetings, and finally, silence. When the ship faded, the fallout was intense. Fandoms split, conspiracies spread. Suddenly, it wasn't just two actors parting ways. It was a breakup, and everyone took sides. And this isn't just about Mew Golf. We've seen similar stories play out with Brightwin and Om Nanan, pairings that got so big, they had to start drawing lines between what was fan service and what was real. Because sometimes, setting boundaries isn't just personal, it's survival. But when actors do set boundaries, some fans see it as betrayal, not self-care. That's the danger of parasocial love. Fans don't always want their favorites to be happy. They want them to be available. Some agencies see this coming, so they build exit strategies, slow transitions into solo work or new pairings. A few ships fade quietly. Others, they sink dramatically. Either way, the pressure is real. Because in BL, the performance doesn't stop when the cameras do. Fan service may start as a strategy, but what happens when the illusion starts to feel real? In the Thai BL world, the fan service isn't just happening on screen. It continues in real life, on live streams, in behind-the-scenes clips, in joint magazine shoots, concerts, and even late-night Twitter posts that fuel fan theories. The goal? Keep the fantasy alive. But over time, the fantasy and reality start to blur, and that's when the trouble starts. Some fans begin to feel a sense of entitlement. After all, if they've spent money on merch, traveled across countries for fan meetings, and streamed hours of content to support their favorite ship, isn't it fair to expect something in return? This creates what some call an unspoken contract. Fans invest. And in return, actors are expected to maintain the illusion, to keep up the chemistry, the cuteness, and the couple branding, even off camera. It's a kind of brand loyalty. When a ship becomes a product, any change, like an actor dating someone else or refusing to play along, can feel like a betrayal. Like the product is suddenly broken. But here's the twist. Companies are often the ones building this system in the first place. They package actors as pairs, train them to interact a certain way, and design fan service as part of the brand, and profit from the emotional investment it generates. This makes it hard to tell who's really responsible when things go too far. Is it the fan who becomes a little too invested? The actor who breaks character in real life? Or is it the company that blurred the lines between fiction and reality in the first place? And that line isn't just blurry, it's constantly shifting. Part of what makes fan service so effective is that it builds parasocial relationships, where fans feel a deep, one-sided connection to the actors. Add social media to the mix, and suddenly fans have 24/7 access to their favorite pairs, sharing meals, rehearsing scenes, making TikToks, all reinforcing the idea that this love might be real. It creates what psychologists call confirmation bias. Fans start to see everything, every touch, glance, or joke, as proof that their ship is real. Of course, not every fan loses track of the line. For many, shipping is about fun, community, and celebrating a story, not controlling the people behind it. Loving a ship is one thing, expecting it to sail forever? That's something else. And when reality doesn't match the fantasy, some lash out, others spiral. A few even cross the line into harassment. But again, are they really the only ones to blame? In some ways, the Delulu fans are simply proof that the product worked. The more effective the illusion, the deeper the investment, and the harder the crash when things fall apart. This creates a vicious cycle. First, companies build the fantasy. Then, fans get invested, which leads to them demanding more. Companies then deliver, putting pressure on actors. Eventually, someone breaks the illusion. And in the middle of all this are the actors, especially new or rising stars, who may have very little agency in what kind of fan service they're required to perform. Opting out could cost them their career, so they keep playing along, even when it affects their mental health, personal relationships, or sense of identity. It's a system that creates what economists call a moral hazard. The companies profit, the fans hope, the actors pay the price. And this dynamic doesn't just exist in Thailand. The international fandom, especially online, has made everything bigger, faster, and more intense. Global fans often don't speak Thai. They rely on translated clips, visual cues, and fan edits to interpret what's happening. And in many cases, They come from cultures where emotional openness or physical affection between men is rare, so a single hand touch or giggle can set off a storm of speculation. This can lead to cultural misunderstandings and amplify expectations that may not match how actors interact locally or how they actually feel. But for better or worse, this is the current model. And whether fans, companies, or actors like it or not, fan service has become part of the job. Still, some new BLs are experimenting with more realistic boundaries, or significantly reducing their reliance on off-scene fan service. But it's still rare and risky. The question is, how long can everyone keep playing along? I hope this pause in the chaos helped you see Thai BL fan service with a little more clarity, not just the magic, but the machine behind it. Until next time, this is GPkP.